Hello there, and this is Terra version 0.65. With this new update and a lot of changes in this game, it's kind of worth a new review because these new changes make a nice big impact on the game. So yeah, we can just go there and do a hot swap and bam, we can use the different tech. We want to go to the water, we don't have to put up with the dock bullshit anymore. We can go bam, go into our boat, or just, go into your airplane if that's needed. But luckily for us, that is not needed yet to go into the airplane mode because of the still, the no cost for our big propellers. We can still abuse the hell out of that, so of course we do. Why not just have a nice, easy to fly helicopter tech and then actually going and switching over to some like airplane, which is a pain in the ass to build in the first place. But anyways, let's carry on with some of the changes in here that's going to make this game a little bit better. At the start of the game, you have more and changed games options, so now you can go there and start the game without the bullshit license system if you don't want to. It makes the game a little bit too easy, so that's something I didn't try and undo. But yeah, all these parts that you pick up, you could get them automatically licensed, and you can use them at full capabilities and stash them into your tech yard or whatever. And yeah, that would just make the game a lot easier. There's also a creative mode, so you can not worry about actually having any materials to build anything in this game. So that's also another thing you could try out there if you're interested in that. But yeah, there's more options, and there's probably a couple more options also in there that I didn't mention for the startup parts. Now, some of the parts have changed also in this game too. We have let's go over there and get rid of that K button there. And some of the guns in this game, the little small lasers and small guns, have alternate modes to be placed on your techs now. So you can place them forward-facing mounts instead of just a regular top-down facing, mounted weapons and stuff like that. So that helps out there too. And some of the parts have been changed too. So lots of these small parts, which were usually just all junky because they didn't do anything, now have buffs on them, which help out there, like amplify 30% more damage on this part right here. It's not a weapons mount, but it still has a nice good effect. And then there's lots of armor parts, which are pretty cheap, that have been added with lots of connections to make, to beef up your tech early game. So these are like early game parts that drop off the, some of the early techs in the game. So yeah, it's going to make your life a lot easier, along with the new Bastion quests. We had that one old Bastion quest in this game, follow the power line over there is where it is, and it did nothing. But now what it does is gives you 4 cores for your tech, and then after you actually complete it, they give you 2 fusion reactors for your tech and a fusion repair model also. So then you can start off there and start adding fusion cores to your tech and some repair models, to 2 of them. And that's kind of a big deal at the start of the game because they all add roughly about 100 to your reactor load at the start of the game, which really matters a lot when your tech you're running around with is 200, maybe 300 if you got the second one on there. So yeah, that ups your tech from 200 to 400 basically. So you're doubling your tech's capabilities on weapons and wheels and all the different things you can add to it, which make it a lot better. So you have lots of stuff like that. But of course, the swapping is just the icing on the cake. But there hasn't been much else on the changes in regarding the wheels. They're still pretty bad. No description, no load on them or anything like that. The building still sucks. The parts that drop off the guys are still flying everywhere with a really horrid pickup radius that you can see, so you can't really pick up anything. But yeah, all the trees and plant lives are a lot weaker too, so you can just run into them without much worry and knock down all the trees and stuff like that if you really wanted to. But yeah, then I'll show you the tech parts. I'm just trying to find one. There's one. There's a little guy over there, so let's go pick on him and beat him up if we can actually see him. There you go. Get over here. Stop hiding behind trees. There you go. Well, yeah, this is probably a little bit overkill, right? Overkill in my big tank tech killing guys. But yeah, as you can see, the parts still go everywhere. Kind of a pain in the ass. You want to try and pick them all up there. It is just a horrid nightmare trying to get all the parts. And the parts in this game you sell. You sell them for money to buy other cool things, like buying a whole bunch of these propellers that you can use to so yeah, buying 16 of these guys as the price increases. That costs quite a bit. But you get the versatility on your tech that can fly a lot better and a little bit faster because this thing's heavy as hell. I think it was 27k or 25k to this guy for moving around. But yeah, anyway, so there's been all these changes to make this game better. That's the main point. You still have the the 4 biomes that are all spread apart. The quests are working now, except for the desert quest on the Bastion quest. They don't actually track properly. They're there. You just can't see them, and you can still get the Bastion done. At the end of the day, you have enough. They give you enough free fusion cores by just powering those Bastions, which is easy to do now with the new power systems, and you can get 5 fusion reactors on your tech, and like 3 or 4 repair modules too, with the increasing value. Which it makes your techs just like it was so hard to get those little fusion reactors up and running because they took like 110 power. They take a lot of resources that you can only find in the last 4th biome in the desert and stuff like that. But with this power stuff, that's what I'm talking about. Is these labs right here? These I can't. There we go. Interact with them. They're the hydroponics labs. They have like a nice easy power system. The liquid extractor takes one of these once every 10 seconds. This thing uses one every 10 seconds. It produces 10 organics. The power generators, they use one every 10 seconds, and they generate 50 power each. So that's a nice system. It runs 10 of these guys. You're making 500 power. It costs less than 100 to use it and activate it. So you're gaining 400 power. That's twice as good as using the oil to run use power. And oil nodes are now like almost everywhere. Not in the first biome like this one here, but in all the other biomes, they're just everywhere now. So you don't have to worry about like where you want to build your base. You can build it where you want. But of course, near the traders are probably the best option for you. But yeah, and the techs drop in a little bit differently now. They drop in a pile of smoke. This one's just a little too close to my base. So that looks kind of neat. But yeah, you can always just swap your techs, and that looks kind of neat too. Just doing it on the fly. That's like a big game changer. So for me, this game is getting a bump in its score, and for the 6.5, I guess I'll give it a 6.5. It's still not worth a 7 out of 10 for me for this game. Because of the chord pickup range on there, the bad information on tires. You don't have tires that are going to work very well in the ice biome or the desert biome. It makes your techs really pain in the ass to move around. They really got to update that. The boat's controls are bad. You can't see anything in the water when you're actually on the boats. I'll show you that. This is like part of the bad thing. So you got your boat is going and all. I should put some rocket launchers on there, by the way. But let's go over there, and like the spawn rate is horrible. Like I forgot to go there into my settings on this new start and change the spawn rate on these guys because they respawn so damn fast. I guess I just killed this guy earlier on, so he hasn't respawned yet. There's one. But yeah, as you can see, we'll zoom in there a little bit closer. We'll go on there. It's hard to see with these new little icons on the guys, although I can't really see the boats, so I can't see where I'm aiming. The lightning effect on the water is just horrid. Like that. Like, why is it generating? Well, I guess it's supposed to be steam, but yeah. But it is a horrid effect to try and actually see the text. And the same thing happens on the text on the land too. You're running on there fighting guys with 4 skulls, and you can't see where you're hitting because all you see is these big skulls in your face. And I didn't find any options to turn that off yet. So maybe later they'll have something like that to be turned off. I don't know. Maybe it might be classified as health bars. I don't know. But yeah, it's just not really descriptive in the text on lots of the stuff in this game. So that is one of the other problems that this game has. Like, it hasn't updated its controls in like forever, and it hasn't touched them ever, basically, right? And the controls, I mean, like, this button right here, controls. Now you have like a weapon swapping things on there too, so you can swap out your I don't know what you call it, the weapons and equipment, the fire groups. So now you have 10 fire groups that you can use for your guys. But yeah, you don't have the options to change the keys on that. You don't have the options to change the keys on your hot swapping, which you get up to 8 now. So you don't have keys to do that either. And it doesn't show you that. It doesn't even show you that, hey, that K key over there, that it shows in there now, but it doesn't show you in the actual part of the game there that you can actually hit that and use that. And that doesn't really tell you that, hey, your parts, they're such a pain in the ass to place, and your building components are such a pain in the ass to place because they're snapping all over the place. They're like, it's not solid when they snap stuff around. They're just all over the place. I snap there, I move my mouse, and then it snaps way to hell somewhere else. Like, where did it go? Over there. So yeah, trying to navigate this is a pain in the ass. So they don't tell you. You hold the control keys, and then the arrow keys will bump them around there as you see fit for up and down. So you can place these parts in the way that you want it. And you're building parts too on your building, because all the foundations still do the same bullshit. So that's why, there's all those many reasons there. It's still, that's why it doesn't get like a 7 out of 10, or I don't know if it actually will, if it actually does that. But yeah, they don't do the simple stuff like that, like actually making this stuff work very well and giving you the proper information. And the weapons haven't changed at all either. Like, there's no new weapons. You get the 2 lightning guns. That's it. You can't get any more lightning guns. It really sucks and limits your gameplay. And all the lasers suck in this game. And all the plasma weapons, they suck too. So there's no point in using them. So you're stuck using rocket launchers and cannons, and that's about it. There's nothing else really going on. I go with the sniper rifles, same thing, with less, blowback. But if you go with cannons or your missile launchers, there's no other point besides these weapons that do high and long range damage. That is it. There's no other options. You try and use anything else, it doesn't work. The desert overheats your laser energy weapons. Well, it does for the lightning guns. So that's still another bad thing that needs to change. Like my tech's not overheated, it's got lots of cooling on it, and the lightning gun overheats and your power drain is gone in 10 seconds, even though you got the max 80% energy reduction on there. It's like it's not there. Your energy weapons are just gone in a second sometimes, at least for the lightning gun. So they got a lot of work to do to make this game a little bit better. They did add like a lot more resource nodes everywhere, and you get like twice as much out of them, but now you need like half as much anyway, so you don't really need any resources anymore. Like power was the main reason why you needed a whole bunch of resources, and now you don't really need to do that because these are easy to set up and use, and and they're just you don't need power, you don't need all those resources, you just need it for the rocket launcher quests and send up resources just for a little bit of credits, and that's about it. So there's no real incentive to do that either and waste your resources on building that. With the bad sky cloud cover over top of the islands, when they have airplanes, it's counterproductive. Like, I don't want to go there and make an airplane so I can try and fly over the desert or the ice biome when it's just pure black clouds and you can't see anything once you get above a certain height. And that's like 80% of the time is going to be like bad black cloud cover where you can't see anything. At least the first island is a little bit better for that. But it will get some cloud cover on it too, so you can't actually see anything if you're too high. And especially with the ice biome over there where it's all like high mountains and you want to try and fly around there, you just run right into a mountain, you won't see anything. Just like the desert dust storms, you can't see anything in front of you. You can't even see your tech in front of you, even with lights. There's nothing that will let you see through it. They need something to change that. And it makes the game a little bit more incentive to play it. I got no incentive to build bases anywhere, just little hubs for power supplies to power the bastions for the quest. That is all I had to do. I didn't have to worry about making bases anywhere else besides over in the swamp biome because of the oil that was there, and you need that for some of the other parts. I didn't need oil for power. This makes the game a lot easier and makes the resource less demanding on the resource collection, and the techs are a little bit easier to kill too, I believe. But that's probably because you get more fusion cores, so it's not as a pain in the ass at the start. But anyways, the bosses are changed a little bit too. They transform once they get damaged enough, and that's kind of neat. I didn't like the ads part though, right? I never liked that. That's always the cheap gimmick on boss fights. You're fighting a boss, I'm going to summon some ads. Give me a break. That stuff is usually garbage. Have your bosses without that, and then you can be respected a little bit more. But they do have like a reason for that, because it's like a big tech like this. You're like, this is your boss tech. You get damaged enough, it breaks apart, it becomes smaller, and then the other smaller parts are used to make other techs. So that is a good valid reason, so it's not too bad in my opinion. It's still, I just don't like the ads part in general, but if you had to go with an excuse, that's a good excuse. Like other excuses where they just come out of nowhere and they just keep coming, that's retarded. But them having just only like one set of ads come in there when the guy gets smaller and it breaks apart, and they just reassemble, because you reassemble too, right? And so they reassembled the multi-parts. So just think, this game wants to take over that Transformers feel, go ahead, like why not? That's a nice good Transformer effect. The guys falling from the sky, all that stuff. Bosses that could be like they're already the big boss with the 5 parts, and then they go bam, now we're going to separate into our other parts, and maybe this guy's we'll separate into our smaller parts. That's basically, it's a good idea to have, at least if you're going to do ads. It's a little bit better than the just regular crap that they do. Anyways, but other than that, most of the game is still the same, a little bit bugs, like the terrain, the tool doesn't work properly. It's on there, but did you see my circle? No, it wasn't. You didn't see it. We got to have to take it on and put it back on again. Now we can see our circle, and that's on a different firing group who actually use that properly. That's the F keys there. So now we can start digging. There we go. We start digging stuff out there with that and collecting all our resources if we wanted to farm all this stuff. There we go. Now we can use our thing for that. Get that one. like the big one. These things take a long time for some reason. Iron takes like 5 minutes, and the other one's just, back to the regular time of like, a minute or two to actually do that. But anyways, there you have it. This game gets up to a 6.5, and that will hopefully give you enough information about what this game is like now, if you're familiar with it. If you're unfamiliar with it, well, yeah, as you can see, you run around in the tech, you got 4 biomes, you got to build your tech, you got a capacity thing going on for yourself, and you got your different parts that you can use, your different wheels that have different effects on the terrain. That's why I have a mix and match my wheels. Yeah, you can watch the tip videos for more information on all that kind of stuff. But yeah, you deck it out with guns and run around and kill other techs, grab their parts, which is still a pain in the ass because that pickup range is still a really stupid and horrible thing to have. But yeah, other than that, you're just doing those Bastion quests, finding the parts, putting it together, powering it up, and then you'll have more power for your techs. But yeah, I just go over there, make a boat, go to the desert biome, buy the best cab, and then Bob's your uncle. And that's about it. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I will see you later.